Erica Komisar, a child attachment expert, is on a mission to educate parents, policymakers, clinicians, and educators about the importance of physical and emotional presence for children's mental health. Her mission is broken down into 3 key areas: presence, prioritization, and prevention. Komisar emphasizes that children need their caregivers to be physically and emotionally present, particularly during the critical periods of brain development, which are from birth to 3 years old, and during adolescence. She notes that attachment security is the foundation for future mental health, and that prioritizing children's needs is crucial. Komisar also highlights the need for prevention, citing the alarming statistics of mental health issues in children, with 1 in 5 children in the US and 1 in 6 in the UK experiencing a serious mental illness. Komisar's background as a psychoanalyst, social worker, and author has given her a unique perspective on this issue. She's been in practice for over 36 years and has written books on parent guidance and parent education. Komisar's work is focused on helping parents understand the importance of being present for their children and providing them with the tools to do so. She believes that society's emphasis on individualism and self-centeredness has led to a lack of understanding about the needs of children. Komisar explains that she sees patients who are struggling with various issues, including depression, anxiety, and behavioral problems. She notes that many parents come to her seeking guidance on how to raise healthy children, and she emphasizes the importance of being present and prioritizing children's needs. Komisar also discusses how societal changes, such as the rise of the Me movement and the feminist movement, have led to a shift away from prioritizing children's needs. When asked why she emphasizes the role of mothers in particular, Komisar explains that mothers play a unique role in providing sensitive, empathic nurturing to infants and toddlers. She notes that mothers' brains are wired to respond to their baby's distress, and that they play a crucial role in regulating their baby's emotions. Komisar also highlights the importance of fathers, noting that they play a different role in stimulating babies' emotions and encouraging exploration and risk-taking. Komisar's work is focused on helping parents understand the importance of being present for their children and providing them with the tools to do so. She believes that by prioritizing children's needs and being physically and emotionally present, parents can help prevent mental health issues and promote healthy development. Komisar's message is clear. Being present for children is not just a moral imperative, but a scientific necessity. Research has shown that fathers play a unique role in regulating aggression and excitement in children, particularly little boys. In fact, studies have found that when fathers aren't present, boys are more likely to develop behavioral problems due to their inability to regulate their aggression. This is because fathers produce a hormone called vasopressin, which helps them protect their family and respond to threats. However, when there's a rustling of leaves outside the window, fathers wake up right away, attuned to potential threat. This highlights the different nurturing hormones that mothers and fathers have, which dictate their responses to their children. Despite the importance of both parents, society often fails to acknowledge the differences between mothers and fathers. This can lead to fathers not learning to be sensitive and empathic nurturers, which is essential for healthy child development. Komisar emphasizes that acknowledging these differences is crucial for fathers to take on a nurturing role. Komisar's ideas may be uncomfortable for some, but they're backed by research. She notes that guilt is a natural feeling that arises from internal conflict, and it's not a bad thing. In fact, guilt can be a sign that one's ego is functioning, and it can lead to better decision-making. However, excessive guilt can be problematic. The inconvenient truth that Komisar speaks about is that raising healthy children requires sacrifice, discomfort, and frustration. This can be challenging for parents who value their freedom and careers. The economic component of raising children is also significant. While some parents may have the means to stay at home and raise their children, many others struggle to balance work and family responsibilities. Komisar notes that people who have less economic resources are often less isolated, but they still face challenges in raising their children. The rise of attachment disorders is a significant concern, Komisar explains that there are 3 types of attachment disorders: avoidant, ambivalent, and disorganized. These disorders can arise when parents are physically or emotionally absent, leading to children developing strategies to cope with their environment. For example, an avoidant attachment disorder may manifest as a child, turning away from their parent, while an ambivalent attachment disorder may result in a child clinging to their parent for dear life. These attachment disorders can have long-term consequences, including depression, anxiety, and borderline personality disorder. Komisar notes that the rise of these disorders is linked to the way we're raising our children, with many parents prioritizing their careers and freedom over their children's needs. As an adult, attachment disorders can manifest in various ways. For instance, an avoidant attachment disorder may lead to difficulties in forming intimate relationships or trusting others. Komisar emphasizes that acknowledging and understanding these disorders is crucial for developing healthy relationships and breaking the cycle of attachment disorders. People with ambivalent attachment disorders are often highly anxious and clingy, suffocating those they love due to their fear of abandonment. Disorganized attachment, often associated with borderline personality disorders, is characterized by emotional volatility, anger, and self-harming behaviors. These attachment styles can be challenging to overcome, but it's essential to recognize that they are pathological defenses that can break down over time. However, those with avoidant attachment styles may be drawn to others with similar attachment issues, leading to potentially unhealthy relationships. In contrast, disorganized attachment styles often struggle to form and maintain relationships due to their emotional volatility. Having multiple children can increase the risk of neglect, particularly if parents are overwhelmed and unable to devote sufficient time and attention to each child. Maternal depletion syndrome is a real concern, where mothers can become physically and emotionally depleted from having too many children in a short period. While economic factors contribute to this decline, the underlying issue is that people are not prioritizing having children and forming deep, loving relationships. This is a concern, as raising children is a transformative experience that can help individuals develop into capable, empathetic adults. Infertility is a significant challenge for many couples, with approximately 18% of adults worldwide experiencing infertility at some point in their lives. Delaying parenthood, environmental factors, and stress are all contributing factors to this issue. The pressure to balance work and family life can be overwhelming, and the myth that one can do it all is just that, a myth. In reality, creating emotional security for children requires a significant investment of time and energy. Erica Komisar, a child attachment expert and mother of 3, managed to balance her career and family life by taking a flexible approach. While it's possible for fathers to be primary caregivers, the physical and hormonal components of motherhood create a unique bond between mothers and their babies. Fathers play a vital role in supporting mothers and bonding with their babies, but their role is different from that of the primary attachment figure. Usually the mother is the primary caregiver, but fathers play a significant role when children become mobile, around 1 to 2 years old. They provide playful, tactile stimulation, which is essential for healthy separation from the mother. In fact, when fathers aren't around during this critical period, children have a harder time separating from their mothers. This is why it's vital to have a balance between the two parents, often referred to as the yin and the yang. A fascinating study that highlights the importance of touch and attachment is the rhesus monkey study with the wire mother. In this study, baby monkeys were given a wire mother covered with a piece of cloth or fur, while others were left with no mother at all. The results were striking. The monkeys with the wire mother became neurotic, but at least they were clinging, whereas the ones with no mother literally lost their minds. This study demonstrates the profound impact of touch and attachment on a child's emotional well-being. In humans, this translates to skin-to-skin contact, holding, touching, and loving. Research has shown that children who receive this kind of nurturing are more resilient to stress and adversity. In fact, a study by Michael Meany found that when mothers licked and groomed their young, those babies became more resilient to stress in the future. This resilience is then passed down generationally, but if mothers don't provide this kind of nurturing, the ability to do so is not passed down. Now, when it comes to paid parental leave, the United States is one of the only countries in the world that doesn't offer it. This is a major concern, as it means that many mothers have to return to work soon after giving birth, leaving their babies in institutional care. This can have a profound impact on a child's attachment, security, and emotional well-being. In fact, longitudinal attachment research has shown that children who are insecurely attached at 12 months of age are more likely to suffer from mental disorders 20 years later. So, what's the solution? Komisar suggests that paid parental leave is essential, but it's not just about the length of time. It's about the quality of time spent with the child. If parents use their paid leave to be home with their child, it can have a significant impact on their emotional well-being. Research has shown that children who are securely attached are more likely to be successful and healthy in the long run. But what about parents who want to raise superstars? Some parents may think that pushing their children to be successful is the key to their happiness, but this can actually be damaging. When parents project their own needs and desires onto their children, they can stifle their child's authenticity and individuality. Instead, parents should support their child's natural talents and interests, while also keeping their own expectations in check. The shocking rise in ADHD diagnoses and prescriptions over the last decade is a major concern. In the UK, ADHD diagnoses rose approximately 20-fold between 2000 and 2018, while in the US, an estimated 15.5 million adults have been diagnosed with ADHD. So, what's driving this surge? Komisar suggests that it's related to the fight or flight reaction, which is our evolutionary response to stress. When children are under stress, they go into fight or flight mode, which can lead to ADHD-like symptoms. By providing a nurturing and supportive environment, parents can help their children regulate their stress response and reduce the risk of ADHD. When children are under stress that they can't manage, they become aggressive or distracted. This is because their nervous system's stress-regulating part, the amygdala, is turned on. The amygdala is a primitive part of the brain that regulates stress throughout our lives. However, it's supposed to remain offline for the first year to 3 years, which is why mothers often wear their babies on their bodies to keep the amygdala quiet. By separating mothers and babies, putting babies into daycare with strangers, and sleep training, we're turning the amygdala on too early. This can cause it to become overactive and eventually burn out, leading to ADHD and behavioral problems. ADHD children are often in hypervigilant states of stress. If they stay in this state long enough, they can go into a hypovigilant state of stress, which can cause depression. Rather than medicating children with ADHD, we should be looking at the underlying causes of stress in their lives. This could be due to family dynamics, social issues, or bullying. Parents should work with a therapist to identify and address these stressors, rather than simply medicating their child. Some everyday stresses that can lead to ADHD include being handed over to a daycare center at an early age, divorce, parental conflict, and the birth of a new sibling. These stresses can be regulated if parents are introspective and self-aware, but if they're not, they can lead to ADHD and other behavioral problems. Medicating children with ADHD is not a solution, as it only silences their pain without addressing the underlying causes. While there may be a genetic component to ADHD, it's not a disorder, but rather a stress response. Children who are born with a sensitivity gene are more prone to mental illness later on. But this can be mitigated if they receive emotionally and physically present attachment security in the first year. Epigenetics shows that the environment can turn on or off certain genes, and sensitive empathic nurturing can neutralize the expression of the sensitivity gene. People with ADHD are simply more sensitive to stress. If they receive sensitive, empathic nurturing, they can be as healthy as anyone else. However, if they're neglected or abandoned, it can exacerbate the sensitivity gene. Medication can be a lifesaver for some people with ADHD, but it's often used as a performance drug to help people cope with the stress of modern life. This can lead to growth issues, panic attacks, anxiety disorders, and depression. Instead of turning to medication, we should be looking at the underlying causes of stress and addressing them through therapy and lifestyle changes. Anxiety and depression are often linked to unaddressed childhood trauma, and the way we approach treatment is often misguided. Instead of seeking quick fixes, we need to focus on relational, dynamic solutions that involve exploring the root causes of anxiety and trauma. This requires commitment, frustration, and a willingness to confront painful emotions. Anxiety is a preoccupation with future losses that may never occur, while depression is a preoccupation with past losses. Both are deeply connected to the concept of loss, which is a pervasive theme in modern society. We're so focused on material success, career achievement, and fame that we've lost sight of what truly matters: relationships, love, connection, and health. This misplaced emphasis can have devastating consequences for our children. Research has shown that children who experience trauma, such as socioeconomic hardship, parental divorce, and neighborhood violence, are more likely to develop ADHD. The first 3 years of a child's life are critical in shaping their attachment style and emotional regulation. As a parent, it's essential to be present and empathetic, especially during times of stress and anxiety. This means acknowledging your child's feelings, even if you can't give in to their demands. By doing so, you create a safe and nurturing environment that allows your child to develop healthy emotional regulation skills. A healthy parent is one who feels good about themselves, has authentic self-esteem, and can regulate their emotions. They're sensitive, empathetic, and nurturing, and they create a sense of security and stability for their child. When it comes to discipline, it's crucial to approach the situation with empathy first. Recognize how your child feels, and then set structure and boundaries. Avoid simply saying no without acknowledging your child's emotions, as this can lead to feelings of frustration and resentment. Instead, use a broken record approach, where you empathize and then set limits. This helps your child feel heard and understood, even if they don't get what they want. The concept of trauma is often misunderstood, and it's not just limited to big dramatic events. To access the complete 30-minute summary and unlock detailed insights for each topic discussed in the video, please subscribe to Quick Podcast Summaries on Spotify and Apple Podcasts with free trial, and later, just for the price of candy in most places. Happy listening.